In today's video, we'll be talking about what's in my bag. Specifically, what's in my FPV bag. To get started, I'm using an FPV bag by a brand called Torval. I'm using the Torval Pro Backpack V2. A couple of things I love about this bag is you can place 2 drones at the front or on top of the bag, and you can also put 2 at the sides. Mostly I use the sides for putting my tripod or a water bottle. Another fun thing about this bag is that it has these clip-ons which you can easily clip to your chest and to your waist, because your FPV gear can get out of hand really quick and your bag can get heavy. So to carry your weight the right way is a must. So just use the straps and you'll be fine. Also, a fun thing is that the Pro has a rain cover, which means you can easily cover your bag like so. This is also a fun thing for me to do when I go out. I like to cover up my bag so people don't see what I actually carry. The sides you can also use for spare parts. I have props in mine. Starting with the drone, I fly the iFlight Nazgul XL5 V2. This is a 5-inch FPV quad. 5-inch referring to the prop size, not the actual drone size, because 5-inch would be like, well, this is a 6S build. 6S meaning I fly 6 cells battery. My current setup on it is a SpeedyBee stack with the Caddx Vista VTX, and I am running AxisFlying 1960 kV motors. And at the front you can see that I am running a GoPro Hero 9. Don't own my own GoPro as of yet, but usually when I fly with Kelbrock or one of my other friends, and I just borrow a action camera off of them. Specifically, this mount is for GoPros only. GoPros 9, 10, 11, 12. They're pretty much the same. They have the same build. I've run a GoPro 12 on this FPV quad. Carry it no problems. If all else failed and this drone intends to break on me during a flight session, I usually carry a spare part, which is this boy. This is a HD Apex frame. HD meaning it has a lot of more room for builds, because the analog frame of this Apex is a lot more smaller and compact. It's very hard to build stuff within that frame. But for this frame, I am running a iFlight stack, and I have the DJI Air unit on it, and I'm running Velox 1950 kV motors on it. This is also a 6S build with a 5-inch props on it. Alright, starting with the bag now. Start from the top side. When we open it up, it has a nice hardcover. Usually when we go fly and the ground is very dirty, it has a lot of sand and stuff, you can place a drone on this pad over here and you can take off from here. Fun to know that this also can be used as a pad. I usually don't use this. Look, it's still in plastic. I haven't touched it yet. Just leave it there as it is. When we open this from the top here, this is a little tool pouch where you can store your tools. Fun to notice that this is magnetic. It will stick, so if you put your screws or something in here, it can't get lost. I'm using this DJI FPV controller. This is the OG DJI. You may recognize this from the old Phantoms, but this is not a Phantom RC. This is a DJI FPV RC. This is the Mark II, I think, the remote control 2, not the RC2 from the Avata. This is the OG DJI controller. I usually like to keep little stuff over there. I just have a SIM injector tool. Maybe we need to reconnect the quad to the goggles or anything. I like to carry this, and I also have a bunch of spare SD cards and adapters, because in case we want to look at our footage. Here I carry my newbie drone lanyard. This I usually use to keep my controller locked on my shoulders because I don't like to physically hold my controller without having some sort of support. It's very shady to fly like that, at least for me. I don't like it. So I like to have my controller on a lanyard or a strap. The next thing I usually carry with me is my D6 Pro dual charger. This is a new charger I bought. I recently upgraded to this charger. I had an old analog version. With that battery charger, I only could charge one LiPo battery at a time, which is very time consuming for me. So I decided to sell that one and get the new one. With this, I have 2 slots, but I can also expand it if I have a balance board. I can then add up 2 more batteries. I can also wirelessly charge with this charger. I also have micro USB at the side, and I have USB-A. Usually at this side of my bag, I usually carry my camera, which is what I am filming this video on right now. I use my Sony a7R Mark IV with the 50mm, usually carried with me to take some pictures of the squad when we fly FPV for our FPV community. If you want to check it out, feel free to check us out on Facebook. Join the group. If you're a local FPV enthusiast, feel free to join. Another fun thing here, we have mesh pockets, and I usually carry spare antennas with me because these things always intend to break. But unfortunately, the antennas are very hard to get, which we are using right now. I'm using the Lollipop version, and the specific version I'm using is usually out of stock. So I also carry spare antennas with me. I have a long range antenna, and I have a stubby antenna. For the goggles, I am still on the Dji FPV Goggles V2, not the Goggles 2. I don't see any point of upgrading this. I find that I am getting pretty decent quality because I am not actually using the footage of my goggles or of my drone. I'm using the footage of the GoPro. So I'm usually getting the maximum quality I can. I've upgraded the foam because the standard foam had a lot of light leaks. I have this soft foam, and I've also upgraded the front. Usually it's just a black patch with 4 antennas. I'm using the iFlight crystal patch, the carbon version. It has 2 stubby antennas and then 2 on the bottom. And I'm also using a fat strap instead of the usual 3-point strap. I don't really like that one, so I got a fat strap. The next important thing is always useful in the world of FPV. That is your toolkit. I'm using a race day quad toolkit, and as you can see, there are a lot of tools in the kit. You have 3 sets of scissors, 4 sets of Torx, and you get a prop removal tool and a tweezer set. I also added a toothbrush. This is not to brush my tooth, not to brush my tooth. This is to clean my drones off when I'm crashed or when the quad gets dirty. I can just easily brush my quad off. And last but not least, on the bottom, we have my LiPo bag. When I bought the Torval backpack, I also included a Torval LiPo bag because I thought it was very necessary to have this bag with me to keep my battery safe and to keep myself safe, because LiPo batteries are very dangerous. So it's very important to keep your batteries in a LiPo bag. As I said already, I fly 6S, which means I'm using 6S batteries. Currently, I'm using Race Day Quad Series 1300 milliamp power 6S 22.2 volts. These are 6S batteries. They're pretty on the heavy side, but my drone still carries it very well. It's usually better to have a heavy battery on your quad, at least for me, because with a heavier battery you can get smoother cinematics instead of having a light battery on your drone, which just means that your drone is very light and it can easily be blown away by the wind or get out of your line. And I have For my goggle, I use the Race Day Quad 3000 milliamp hour 2S batteries. You can also use 6S on your goggles, but I don't like to have a heavy battery on my head, so I use the 2S 7.4 volts 3000 milliamp hour Race Day Quad batteries. And what I also carry with me in my LiPo bag is this capacity controller. This is a must-have for any FPV pilot, because when your battery is running low or you need to check your battery, you have no way to check your battery. So this is very easy to use. You can just plug it in your balance lead and check the voltage on your battery. If your battery is dead or not, if it needs to be charged, you can easily use this. That was it for my FPV bag. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.